What's up guys, welcome back to the Webby Show YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how to do the brake mod through the frame. Now I'm going to take my time with this one. Billy was meant to bring new cables like I asked him to. He's failed to do so, so we're going to have to pretty much bodge this one. But the important thing is that you've all been asking me is how to go about drilling holes through your seat tube. So we're pretty much going to go through that step by step today. The other thing is we're just going to get a little insight as to why Billy wants to put the holes through the seat tube. So Bill, I know I haven't pre-done this, so I've just put you on the spot here, but right. Tell us exactly what happened and why you want to do the holes through the frame.
So I was running like the little hanger that comes down where you put your two cables through, yeah, that little bit right there, and basically I kept kicking it and it was bending, and then I pretty much pulled the bolt through, threading it, so now it don't sit right, it sits all wonky, and every time I pull my brakes feel funky, and I keep kicking it. So I just need something clean to get it out of the way so I can not worry about my brakes getting ruined for a session.
So I just have to like point this out. Obviously, you know, Billy's running the Killer Bee frame. With these frames with Total that we do actually say as part of the guarantee that you're not allowed to run London mod on the frame. Nope. Because it sticks out too far, you tread on it and it starts ripping that tiny little bolt out of the frame. Yeah. So if you've done this and you're running a dual cable setup, then it is actually your fault that the threads have ripped out the frame. But nevertheless, this is why with the TWS frame that I've gone to the effort now to make it come from the factory with the holes already pre-drilled for the brake to go through, so everything's a lot more cleaner and out the way and you don't run into these problems. But before I was doing that, I was obviously drilling it out and, you know, running my cables through the seat tube, and everyone's been asking me for time, and obviously I wasn't up to scratch on my YouTube game, so I never got around to actually doing how to do it. So that's what's going to happen today. Today we are going to attack Billy's frame, and we're going to bang two holes right through here. We're going to take a nice look at it from this level, make sure that the line of the cables is going to be in line with the brake, because that's like one of the hardest parts. Fortunately, with the Killer Bee having such a low top tube, like with a small seat tube here, it's much easier to get the line right to the brake. You can't really mess it up as such. But obviously with my frame, with it being a taller seat tube, you've got like quite a sharp angle from the rear end to the top tube there. So this should be nice and straightforward. Let's get to the tools. First thing you want to do really is you want to have some sort of lining up measuring tool and sort of work out what sort of line you're going to want your brake at. If you can kind of sort of see what I'm saying, like there. Yeah, you ain't gonna want to have like the same angle like directly up. You want to kind of like come down a little bit from the brake, so it's not bang on lined up, because obviously you want the cables to run smooth on the way through the tube there. So, but yeah, once you've got roughly your line from the actual cable to where you want it to be, you need to basically mark this up and then get some holes in there. First things first, we need to take the wheel off, Bill. Perfect sense.
I think it makes sense.
Right, so the wheel is off.
Yeah.
So what we want to go for here, we need to like sort of get it something lined up to where you want the holes to be. This is going to be dead hard to show you, like sort of, you know, on the camera, like what I'm going for here. But yeah, you kind of get the gist of it, and then obviously you need to like mark that up and then figure out where to do your holes. You don't want to make it like too like crazy sharp like this, so you want to sort of come like angle it down slightly and just make it a nice smooth line for the cables to come up to. So we need to mark it first, don't we?
Yeah, that's how we marking it.
With a screwdriver.
Centre punch, mate. Just scratch it with that.
We can do that. Just so we know whereabouts we are. That's about right. Yeah, you guys might want to put some tape around this to mark it up, like, but I'm not doing that. I'm just going straight in on Billy's frame. Take the paint away, especially now we got rid of that sticker.
Oh yeah.
Billy hasn't really got everything that I would use to do this. I would say that it's probably better to do either the same size as the cable there, and then run the cable through and then put an adjuster in the inside of the frame, like not to use it but just as a stoppie. So basically what you would do is after you've drilled the hole in the frame, you will put a piece of cable down and out the hole, because it's dead easy to do that, slide one of these down the cable and then try and like fiddle it through until you get it out. And you could even chuck a nut on the back of that just to keep it there while you set the cable up, and then do away with the nut after. Is by just running the, like obviously the cable straight away in there and not having the adjuster on the outside, because the adjuster over here will then, the cable will then be hanging off of this and probably running the other side of the tube on the way out. So the later the exit of the cable is, the better. So let's try and get these on the inside. Plus, because of the curve of the tube this way, once you've drilled the holes and you sit it through, they're going to actually face the right way to the brake, because they're gonna marry up with the curve of the tube. So how does it sound like I know what I'm doing?
Because you've done it so many times.
What? So yeah, it's time to whip this brake off. Yeah, let's get the brake off anyway. I'm hoping this is going to look really nice and tidy once Billy goes and gets new cables and does it all properly. But
Yep.
we will get it set up for you today as a how to do the Webby brake mod. Yeah. So Bill has just handed me the Allen keys. This is my Allen key set. It's a snap-on Allen key set, and I've had it for about 20 years, and it's seen better days, but I guarantee it's in better condition than most people's Allen keys, because it's a snap-on Allen key set. So, and they,
you're still paying for it now then?
Guess what's just happened?
The lugs come loose.
Yes, it has. The lug has just come loose, which is kind of like worst nightmare really. See that? It's actually come loose in there. But so lucky enough, you do have the ones with the little flat piece on the sides, don't you? Yeah, because mine are flush. So,
Right, let's get them,
so have you got the little spanner for that?
I don't. I use pliers.
You use pliers, okay.
Right there.
Would you use a pair of these Longo Neckos?
You can use that, or you can use this.
Is that what you use to hold it?
Yeah.
Billy, you are the sketchiest dude ever.
Do you know what? It works though.
Okay. Is it actually?
It didn't work.
It didn't work, did it? Do you know what I'm gonna say?
What's that?
Let's chuck the vice clamps.
Nice clamps, dude.
They get in there or not?
Hold it.
Do you want to try them?
Yeah.
If not, we can just get the grinder on the voice clamps and narrow them down a bit.
Yeah, let's modify my tools. There you go.
Do you reckon that's in there?
Yeah.
I'm worried about punching the chainring right now. It's taking my fingers off. Did that get it?
I think it did.
I think it did, didn't it?
Yeah, it's right on the edge, but we did it.
That's how we like it.
Yeah.
Life on the edge. Right. Let's try and get this thing off now. Yeah. Right, there we go. So that's that. When it comes to drilling this, obviously it's going to be very hard to get it where you want it. So you'll probably want to use a centre punch like this with a nice point on the end, and get it into where you need to drill the hole, which will be like obviously inside here. And obviously you want to kind of get these holes pretty close together as well. You don't want to leave like a huge gap between them, because you know the closer in it is, the more leverage you get like crossways at your brake like this, rather than pulling upwards. This is why the straddle cable around the frame like this, or the double cable from here, doesn't work as good, because your brake is not designed to go up, it's designed to go in. So you get way more leverage off of your brake when it goes in. So that's why the pull through the frame is much more like direct than what it is having a long cable, because like I said, the long cable's pulling up, and like coming from the inside the seat tube there, your point of pivot is your point of pivot, like when you're say when you've got it like the two long cables, obviously your point of pivot is upwards like that, and yet when you're running it through the frame, you then change this cable angle to this, which is then has more leverage on it. So you've got a much more powerful and responsive brake doing it this way.
Plus you don't stand on the cables every time you try and do a whip and snap cables all the time.
Pull your
naps off.
This is the thing that stresses you out more than anything, isn't it, Bill?
100%.
Because it's ruined a couple of sessions now, isn't it, for you?
I've did a half cab whips all the time, catching my brakes.
So yeah, Billy's having like, you know, the typical dramas. But yeah, what I was actually about to get to with this, to get in here the best you can, it is actually ideal to remove the brake lugs. So it's kind of ideal that this one's actually already come loose. So we're gonna be right back after we remove the brake tabs. Wow, they came off quick. Anyways, the brake lugs are off, which now leaves us to the point. Oh my god,
Seems to be a problem.
have you got a hammer?
I have a ratchet.
Same thing, isn't it?
It's the same thing.
Any bashing tool.
Wait right there.
Also, what about a drill? Do you have a drill? Don't ask, just bring it.
Hammer. It makes noises.
This is the best hammer I've ever seen. That'll do, I reckon.
That'll do.
So, yeah, so
Oops.
we're going to flip this bike upside down and start getting some holes lined up. Now we've got our little line on the frame and everything. So a good method to doing this is to basically get your bike in this kind of position right here. It's quite annoying and stressful, to be fair, that we don't have a hammer, because that means that it might hurt our hands. So basically this is what we need to go for. We need to try and get this beast in here like this, and we need to work out where we want our holes. So that's at the bottom of the mark that we've made. So I'd say there is quite good. I'm scared about hitting this. Oh, it's a good hammer actually.
Yeah.
Right, so we've made a nice little dotty dent in there. It's much better to do this way like this than it is to try and actually just drill that. Get this one lined up as well for the other side. Wow,
the wheel fell
your
off.
front wheel fell off, Billy.
Is that easier or better?
Did you take that front wheel off, or did that just fall off, Bill?
Well, I actually did take it off. I'm not that ropey.
Brilliant. So yeah, so now Billy's head tube's destroyed on the concrete there, but
Killer floor now, isn't it?
yeah, nevertheless we've got two pretty sweet little dots in there, and now we just need to try and run a drill in there. Like I said, we've got our line here. I haven't done the holes on this side yet because this side is actually way easier to do the holes, although the drill likes to rub on the frame here. We've got our little like pilot dents in there, and now we need to attack it with this big old cordless that Billy's provided today. I just want to let everyone know that I've not got my tools really or anything to do the job here, and Billy hasn't even provided the cables, have you, Billy?
I was in a bit of a rush.
Not gonna lie.
Not gonna lie. I'll get some tomorrow.
And guess whose drill bits these are?
Not mine.
Matt Cole's.
Oh wait, really?
Yeah, he left it mine, so sorry Matt, but thank you Matt at the same time. We love Matt. So I'm going to start off with like a smaller drill bit. I don't know how small to go because like it's going to end up breaking anyway. They always do. Because you're drilling at a real funky angle. So
Just start super small then.
3.2. Let's go there. So yeah, do you want to take this? And
I'll take that.
wow, this drill looks like it's going to rip someone's arm off.
No, you're right.
Also, what I found with this is sometimes to get in the frame you might want to just put the tip of the drill bit in there just to give you a bit more reach, you know what I'm saying? Like rather than chucking it all the way in there and then this getting in the way of everything, sometimes it's easier to have like
chuck out of the way, yeah.
Just try and keep it out of the way, yeah. Just like nip it out at the end there. That's probably what caused it to break. I'm trying to do it. So as you can see, look, there's no good way to do this. Like when I'm up against the frame here, look, with the chuck there, and obviously now I'm actually at an angle. I'm not drilling straight into the tube. Straight into the tube would be this way, but if I come around to this side here, now I'm drilling backwards up the tube. So there's no easy way to do it, and that's why I say to like get some little sort of
Centre punches.
pilot centre punch dents, yeah, just to help you sort of start getting through. How big's your seat post?
About that long.
Okay, so why are we still doing this?
Let's take the seat post.
Must remember to take the seat post out if you've got a long seat post. I've never really had this problem because I've always had my seat post cut to like here. Do you know what I
I've never
mean?
had this problem because well, this is actually your seat.
This is my seat.
So I actually just stole it because you left it in my car.
I was thinking, like, why is this starting to look like it's chucking out aluminium? I was like, this isn't making
a
it
very
any sense.
rusty bolt, so if anyone wants to donate me,
I can see it moving. Look, we're through. Look, we're through that hole already. Look.
Yeah,
so yeah, I was thinking it was taking a bit long, like, but yeah, look, we've started drilling into the seat tube there. So yeah, we're do you want to take that again?
Phase 1 complete.
Right, so yeah, make sure you take your seat post out if you have a long seat tube. That probably helped the drill bit not break. That did.
Yeah, I think it did. Yeah.
Right, now we got hole number 2. Oh shit, in the eye, don't you?
Yeah.
So it might be worth it to wear some safety goggles while doing that, because Billy just nearly copped it sweet in the eye there. So we're at the point where we need to step up the drill bit again. Yeah, we'll take this beast out, and what we really need to do now is on these bad boys. Oh, we got adjusters coming out everywhere. Right, standard barrel adjuster, and then try and match it up with a drill bit. That probably is perfect, to be fair. Downsize, that actually looks even cleaner to me, really. That actually looks like it might be perfect. Might even get a little wind out of it. Yeah, so
thread action.
Nothing like a tight fit. And once again, much easier if you yeah, just chuck it in the end there like that.
Should we put some lubricating spray on that? Are you going to full send?
Absolutely not.
I like it.
Sometimes you'll find, yeah, that with the bigger drill that it won't bite on the inside edge because it's uphill, so it'll start trying to climb down the tube and go this way. I mean, I'm no engineer, like, or anything like that, but you know, and once again, you see, like, if I had this push right in, the chuck would be in the way of the plate here, and you'd never get in there. But by doing this, it allows you to come like literally through the gap, like, yeah, through a corner to fit into there. But yeah, going back to it, if this starts to like veer off and start climbing down your tube, you can come around this side and kind of go back up the tube. It's real ghetto way of doing it, but it saves you dragging the hole down, you know. So you'll see what I mean if it starts doing it anyway. So, but yeah, just go nice and slow. Cause yeah, it's been a bit of a bitch. I'm gonna come this way and give it a little 1-2. You gotta just take your time with these things. There we go, we're through. So where we've had to go in like a couple of ways there, like back and forth, just to try and like get it through there. Obviously that's gonna have made the hole slightly bigger anyway. So maybe going the size smaller on the drill bit is the better option.
That's a good idea.
Onto the other side. See, this one to me, you can see, like, if you get the camera right down there, that we've got more shine on this side than we have on the other side, which means that it's trying to run down the tube. So I'm going to come in this direction for a second and blast it back up towards the inside. Now it's actually drilling back into the high side of the tube, you know. So I'll give it a bit that way, and then come back in again this way, just to level out the hole every time. So much for slow and steady, Mark, yeah? Just gunned it down. And now, these holes at the back look like all over the place. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. So basically, after you've got your holes drilled in there, you're gonna grab yourself a rounded side file, or like literally a round file even, and just get inside the tube and just file these little bits back in there, But obviously don't go crazy hitting up here because you still want your seat to clamp up nice and tight. And yeah, just take the rough edges off inside there, so your barrel adjuster, you know what I mean, will obviously fit flush out against the inside, like, you know, on the inside.
Nice on the inside.
So yeah, now we want to get some holes in the front here. In the past I've actually cut like a slit into it, like just a little bit with an angle grinder, and I used a grinding disc, not a cutting disc, because it was kind of the right width, and then I just like, you know, helped it by drilling some holes in it, like each side, just to round it off. But that is a real ghetto way of doing it. So we're trying to keep this nice and neat and nice and simple today, and we're just see if we can just bang 2 nice and neat holes, finishing up roughly where I scuffed up my line earlier. Do you know what I mean? So if we get 2 holes at the top here, the cables will go nicely down to this point here, which will line up nicely with the brake. Right, let's go with pilot hole.
Are we centre punching these, or are we going straight in?
I think I'm going to go straight in. I'm using my guesstimation on this one.
I think your guesstimation is probably going to be good.
Well,
You've done it enough times.
it's alright. My granddad's in heaven right now going, "Didn't you learn nothing? Slow and steady wins the race. You're going too fast with it." I know it, honestly. He'd be shitting the bed over that right now. He'd be like, "Why are you powering it through? Just take your time."
I always get told for that one.
Yeah.
All the time. There goes one bit.
So, you know what? I did just talk shit on the fella, didn't I?
You did just talk.
Was that you, Grandad? Honestly, man, like, that's the sort of shit you would actually kick my ass for all the time. But like, you drill it too fast. Right, I'm gonna have to step out a little bit here.
We can step it down, overlay it. Overlay it? Is that a word?
I don't know, I think you might have just made a new word up there. Overlate. I like it.
I like that one.
Yeah, I like it. Right, so, yeah, let's overlate it. Might go this side. Take it up. Double up. So, we need a drill bit that size.
I'd say
Same thing.
it should be about that size.
Yeah, I reckon it will be. Yeah. Give or take. Same thing again with this as well, like keeping this, like just nipping at the end of the drill so much easier because it gives you a little bit more variety. Do you know what I mean? Because like, you see how I can like lay the drill almost level with the tube to go into to drill straighter, whereas if I chuck it all the way up here, like you end up like at a downwards angle because obviously
hitting the chuck into the frame all the time.
And especially with the tab there as well. So definitely like trying to just like nip at the end of it is like a bit of a thing to do. So and every time I do this, I knock the button as on the frame on the way through, and then it puts the drill on lock. So then I have to push the button back in again.
It's never easy.
Now, I think that looks pretty neat. It does look alright, doesn't it?
Get rid of them.
Frame after as well, won't you, at some point?
Yeah.
So, and again, get the old round side of the file. Just give it a clean up in there. We'll be back in a second after we flipped everything around and got everything in the right position and got everything ready to do the next stage of this, okay? Right, so we are at a point. The brake lugs are back on. So we've got the brake lugs back on, the holes are all drilled, everything's like sort of ready to go. So what I'm going to do at this point is I'm just going to leave Billy to actually put his brake back on, if you're cool with that, Bill.
I am cool with that.
Right, so you put your brake back on, and as soon as you're done with that, we'll start getting these cables set up, yeah?
That sounds good to me.
Sick. Okay guys, welcome back to the chat. No, actually I don't need to do that, do I? Even though we've run into the second day now, I don't actually need to do the intro, we've already done it. So we're sticking to the same video. We don't need an intro.
We don't need an intro.
What happened yesterday was we kind of ran out of time and Billy didn't have the cables like I explained at the start of the video. So Billy has come back today with cables and we're ready to start lacing this thing up. Let's go. So I'm getting so lost in this video where we are and where we're at, but anyway, the brake is all on. This is the update. The holes are drilled in the frame, all set. The old cables are all off of it. The brake is set up. The springs feel super nice on it. Billy's got the new outer casing. He's got the new inner cables, and these are just gear cables for a mountain bike. And we've got 2 barrel adjusters. Unfortunately, they're the open barrel adjusters. We've actually just pressed them slightly just to hold it together so the cable can't like fall out of it once we've got it in the back of the frame there. We're not using these to actually adjust in and out. We're literally just using them as like cable stoppers, just to stop the cable, the outer casing coming through. So we've got 2 of them ready, and I'm about to cut the outer casing to the length that we need, coming from the gyro down to the seat tube here. So once I've cut them and we've got everything like sort of set in place, I'm going to show you how we get these inside the tube without dropping them down into your bottom bracket and having to shake your bike around just to get it out, because that's a right pain in the arse.
I guess you've done that before, right?
Yeah. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to wind these adjusters into the bottom gyro tabs here. I'm going to poke them just slightly out of the top there. There we go. So yeah, I'm going to poke them just slightly out of the top there, just to give us a little bit of a variety when it comes to actually setting the brake up, and the same on the other side. Just put the little cable ends on. There we go, it's up in there. So yeah, because these are gear cables, you can actually like run them like quite tight. So I reckon we'll go for there. Yeah, like just a little bend in it, and we'll strap a bit of tape on there, and then we'll run it down to here. So yeah, clamp down size. Oosh. Right, this is another little thing I like to do. Just get these on there and just flex it out the other way like that, and then obviously you see the hole open up there, and you want to get your piece of cable before chucking the other little end sleeve on there. You want to get the end of the cable. This is a nice little move, this is. And you want to just carefully put it inside the hole there, and then just give it one of them, and then the little inner plastic sleeve that's in there is now flared open, so you don't have no problems putting the cable through and potentially fraying the cable. Top tips by Mark Webb. Right, so let's just check that these ones fit through the hole, and they do, so that's nice. So we're gonna jam another one of these on there. That's what they go. So that will go through, and this. That's looking real tidy.
That's looking real smart.
Yeah. So
now to pull it out.
Yeah. Well, you don't need to actually put that through there. I just did it just to show off. Right, so onto putting your cables through. I would say you should definitely lubricate the cable properly. You can definitely do this later, but for now
we're gonna get it done.
I'm just gonna bang some spray on the cable like this down this corner, just so it's got something in there. And this is how you do it. Watch this. So we go in through here like this. We come out here. Pull this all the way down. Sit your little piece in the gyro plate there. Right. And the important thing about a gyro is that this plate actually does sit down here. You shouldn't have to set any of this top stuff up. This should be able to be set up by itself. That's another way to stop your gyro having like a flip-flop effect.
Which is annoying.
It is annoying. So now we've gone through the adjuster, we're put it through the cable, which is going through buttery smooth. And this is the trick of the trade I'm about to show you here. Okay. So watch carefully here, Bill. Here we've got our barrel adjuster that's going to be acting as a stopper. It's going to be coming out the back, and what we do is we want to go like in through here, out the seat tube, yeah, and bring it a long way up so you've got a bit to play with, and then you want to put the adjuster on this way like this, yeah, and then you want to put it back out of the hole out of the back, so maybe give it a little flex just to give it a little kick to help it come out the back of this hole here. And there we go, straight out the back. And now obviously your adjuster is going down and being fed through the hole into the back of here, like that, and then you just pull the cable down and voila, it goes through. And then you can see down the inside of the seat tube just to make sure that it is actually sitting inside, like the actual cable sitting in the actual barrel adjuster. We'll jump onto the next side, which I have already cut, bathroom. And again, just give that a little flare to open up the inside there. This one's already quite open now. Lovely. Right, now I'll put the end pieces on. Quite tight to put on there.
Yeah, it's good they ain't coming off.
They definitely ain't coming off, Bill. Basically, you've already seen me do this side. It's exactly the same the other side, so it's done now, look. And just like that, the bike was flipped around and the other cable is all done. Right, so what we need to do now, we need to put these little bad boys on there. So but the other thing is obviously that, like, once we start pinching these up, you're going to start damaging the cable. So I think the best thing we can do, Bill, is chuck the back wheel in there, and get it starting to look like it's set up. What we're going to do is we're going to leave the seat post all the way out to the end so we can actually see inside to check that everything's going to plan in there and make sure the cables are sitting inside the barrel adjusters. So yeah, we're going to be right back as soon as we chuck the back wheel on. And just like that, the back wheel was on. So yeah, we're at the point now where we need to start applying tension to the cables and making sure they're slot into the little barrel adjusters inside. So with these being gear cables, these little bad boys actually pinch this thing up and they're quite capable of cutting the cable, so we don't want to go too hard on them. So having said that, we want to make sure that you actually try and get this like lined up pretty good from the get-go, so you don't have to release it again and then do it again. You get what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying.
Yeah, here. Right, so that's what I used to do. I used to actually pinch the cable with a set of mole grips like underneath to save you having to actually tighten it up. So I lift it up like this, holding the cable down with my right hand to bring tension on it, make sure the cable inside the tube by looking down there is sitting in the barrel adjuster, make sure it's sitting in the barrel adjuster up the top, and yeah, and you can just lift this up like this, get a bit of tension on it like that, and go, right, that's hitting the rim, lock it off there like that, and then you haven't pinched the cable, and then you can just have a little 1-2 check, make sure there's a little bit of play there, bearing in mind the cable is going to stretch anyway. And now you haven't pinched the cable too much or done any damage, and you can actually do the cable up and it be in the right place on the one bang. She's starting to pinch on now. You don't want to go crazy with it because you can cut it. And the other thing is you don't want to go too little with it, because if it slips through you need a new cable. See what I mean? The cable actually snipped there just by holding onto it with the mole grip. So yeah, they're very delicate. But yeah, I'd say that's in there. Shut your mouth!
God,
You're
dang
doing
it.
nothing. Right, now that one's in. You want a pair of these, and just leave a bit on there, but just get it out of the way. So give it a little snippy.
We're gonna do the old
tuck it out of the way.
Yeah.
I'm not rating these cables, Billy. They look quite weak.
Where'd you get yours from?
Cycle Exchange.
I did not go there.
No, it's okay. It's not really relevant at the moment. Flip around, do the other side. I'm trying to push on the seat. There's no seat. Once again, same process. On the other side, same process. Making sure everything's in its place. That everything's in the right place. Which is what I'm doing right now. Same situation again. I'm gonna clamp this bad boy in, hold onto the cable, make sure there's a little bit of play there. This is the other thing, me and you set brakes out completely different, so I don't know if there's too much or too little for you.
Well, your brakes feel good, so let's just go with yours.
Okay. It's falling off my bike. Left it behind the others. Have a look where we're at now. It may be a little bit tight on the brakes, but remember the cables have to stretch in as well.
Yeah.
And these will start to sit in their own better place, or in there at some point as well. They'll get comfortable. So the top cable stuff has already been set up, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Like you've run that already for a while, so we really should be able to just like wind these down.
One of them's bent, but
I get a feeling that you had a floating gyro before.
I did have a bit of a floating gyro before.
That's disgusting.
Yeah.
You disappoint me with that, buddy. Well, took the paint off.
Different brake setup.
This was the one that's bent. It's been a bit of a pain in the ass to go in. Dude, I breathe so heavy, man.
Whole video.
Yeah.
Put some little music over it in the background.
Why, when you can hear me breathe? Wind it all and get it all out of the way from them. Give us some. Look at this, Billy. What are you working with here?
A bit of a mess.
Yeah. Shall we see if we can just wiggle that strand off?
Yeah, let's do that.
Like, just treat it like a grey hair.
Just get it going.
I'll get a punch off that in a minute.
Oh, no doubt.
Right. Let's check this one there. This one in there. It's definitely tight at the moment to set up, but that's looking pretty incredible. There you go.
Yeah, that feels unreal.
So this is the first time that we've done this setup on your bike. You've just watched me put it together. Pressing that brake for the first time like that.
Yeah.
What's that feel like?
Mad different, like strong.
You can feel that it's powerful, can't you?
Yeah,
like,
it's like
move the wheel and, do you know what I mean? You can feel that it's just like,
yeah,
it's really like powerful, isn't it?
Yeah, loads different. Like,
stoked on that?
stoked.
Right, let's get the seat back on and wrap up this video. What's up, guys? You've just watched me and Billy do the TWS mod on the frame. It's a mod that I've been doing for 10 years now, maybe more than 10 years. So I've just done a how-to to show you exactly what you got to do to make that TWS brake mod on the frame. And if that is too difficult for you to do, or you think it's a lot of hassle for what it is, then I just want to let you guys know that you could always go over to Totalbmx and you can purchase one of these Totalbmx TWS frames. It's the Pro Edition, and this comes with the DBS brake system already built in, so direct brake system. It's already got the threaded butt tubes like raised in there, and yeah, it's all ready to go. You just chuck the brake on, chuck the cables through, and that's it. It's all done. So yeah, just wanted to give you the best of both worlds, really. Finally explain to you how to do that whole brake mod and everything with drilling the holes. But like I said, if you don't think you can do that, or you don't have the tools to do it, you can always go and purchase one of these TWS Pro frames. So yeah, that's pretty much it. If you've got any questions, fire away in the comments. Other than that, like, subscribe, turn your post notifications on, and I'll be back real soon with another bike video, riding video, car check video, pit bike video, who knows. Just want to get out there and have some fun. So thanks again to all my subscribers. I love you all. Peace out.